like group interviewing each player and doing it.
I think so. I don't know.
Well,
I think that's
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
me neither. Can you put this in your pocket, please? And this is going to go up under your shirt. Gotta hear what you have to say. Thank you.
This is definitely a Sam McGlone.
Now that you're here, Tom, everyone's the most talented country person now.
How's it going?
Good. Check. Get one more. Also, where podiums come in handy. Microphones. Yep.
Are you excited for Cuba?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited.
What's it been like? What have you guys been doing in preparation for this trip?
Just been practicing, learning how each other plays, especially our freshmen, trying to get them how we play. So that is what we're doing.
How often have you been able to practice?
I think we might be on our 8th practice day or 7th one, so we had a lot of time to do it.
How important is it for you guys to have, I mean, you get a little bit extra time in the summer, switching staff with each other. How important is this for you guys?
It's very important. We want to build towards what we're trying to do in March, so everything starts now.
Most teams that have done this before, that get to travel overseas and do these trips, they kind of have that a pretty good push at the beginning of the season because they've already had that time together. Do you feel like that's what's going to happen this season?
I feel like we're going to have a good push in the beginning of the season. Once we just learn the little bit of stuff of defense, we'll be fine.
Have you been to Cuba before?
My first time.
Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
What do you know about just, besides the basketball, what are some of the other things you guys are going to get to do?
I never went salsa dancing. I went to a Cuban cigar factory, so that should be fun.
Excited for salsa dancing?
Yes, I am.
What kind of competition are you expecting to see down there?
We're going to play against pro teams, so I expect the competition to be good and it should be great for us.
How's the preparation for something like this a little different than, in-season preparation for a game?
It's kind of the same because we're playing a regular game, but it's just different playing against pros and people that will be older than us.
What have you guys done to make yourself a better defensive team this year, Sean?
We're just everybody's trying to get better. We play a lot of one-on-ones, so everybody can keep the ball thrown. So we're just trying to get better at defense, period.
And you have a lot of returners. Typically you take this trip when you got like 4 or 5 new guys, and you guys don't. Is it more of a bonding thing, or is it more of a development for your own team?
A little bit of both. Bond and develop both. We bring a lot of seniors back, so we should be able to lead and put up and show and pave the way for our younger guys.
What have you worked on the most yourself?
Getting in shape, ball handling, and shooting the ball.
What do you, besides the basketball, what are you most looking forward to in this trip?
Just having fun, being with my teammates, and learning about Cuba.
Have you been out of the country before?
I've been to Mexico.
Okay, you speak Spanish?
This is typically the time you guys usually go home for a couple weeks. How concerned are you at all about this being a really long season and burning out at the end?
I'm not worried. It was my senior year, so I'm just going to have fun with it. I want the season to last forever if we could.
Are you going to play 3 games in 3 days?
Yes, we are.
Okay. How much do you think you're going to be able to learn about what your team is going to be this year from this trip?
I think we'll learn toughness because they said we're not going to get a lot of calls, so we'll learn how tough we are over there.
With the amount of seniors you guys have on the squad, do you already feel a certain sense of urgency?
Yeah. We all want to win. That's what this year is about. winning.
What do you like about Darius and Sam, Sean?
They're both good. Darius is athletic, can shoot. Sam can shoot the ball. They're going to be good, great players.
Is Sam a forward?
Sam's a 3-4, I guess. I mean, basketball really positionless nowadays, so it don't really matter.
What does it mean to you to be able to have this experience and going to Cuba, to be able to have it senior year?
It means a lot because it's my first time going overseas with a basketball team, so I'm grateful to it.
Thanks so much. What are you guys doing to get preparation and stuff for this trip?
We've been researching on Cuba coaches to look up things to do and things not to do. Of course, we're working hard to get ready for the team.
What are some things to do and not to do?
Well, one thing they said, AC told me, he looked it up, you're not supposed to spit in public or blow your nose like it's disrespectful or something like that. So I'll be sure not to do that.
Kind of competition. I mean, you're playing pro teams, but this is going to be a pretty good gauge of where your team's going to start the season off.
Yeah, it'll be definitely a really good gauge for us. So we're playing grown men, pros, so it'll be really good for us to try to work some new things in and just see how we stack up.
Is there anything you notice that's different about the Cuban style and basketball?
I don't really know too much about this style, but I'm pretty sure basketball's pretty universal. Cuba has different kind of rules and things like that, but other than that, I think it'll be pretty much the same.
A little more fouling, possibly.
Definitely will be really physical, that's for sure, but used to that.
Is it a shorter three-point line?
It's a longer one, I believe, by like a foot or so, not a big difference.
How much do you guys practice?
Is there any difference between the basketball you use and international? It's like a molten that we've been using. We had a brand new one, so they took a while to break in. They weren't that much room to play with. They just get really wet. But now they get broken in, it's pretty much the same thing now.
How much do you guys have to practice with the longer three-point line? How that changes?
We actually haven't practiced with the longer three-point line. I mean, if you can shoot a college three, you should be able to shoot a Cuba three. So if you're a good shooter, it won't really bother you.
Now, Marcus, you played all of last year, but that was really the first time you played in a year or two. Do you feel like you're ahead of the game this year, or how much has your game changed? With you getting more in the rhythm, I guess.
I definitely feel good about being healthy now and just working out every day and not just having a games under my belt. So this year should be a really big year for me.
What kind of goals does the coaching staff set for you guys down here to get better?
The goal is just to go out there and compete, play hard every game, don't take any plays off, and just go from there.
What are some of the other things you guys are going to be doing down there besides basketball?
They said we have salsa lessons, so that will be interesting. We're going to go to like a Cuban cigar factory, I think, and then we're going to the beach and some other things like that.
Who do you think is going to be the best at the salsa lesson?
Best at the salsa? That's a tough one. I'll say Armand. Armand would be the best one.
They talk about this as a bonding trip when you guys have so many returners. Do you feel like pretty close now, or how much of a difference do you think it's going to make?
I think we're a pretty close team now, but a trip like this always helps. And we got the freshmen now, so we didn't have that last year. So it'll be good for them to gel with us more and just be good for us.
How do you? Go ahead.
What makes you think you're going to be a better defensive team this year?
I think everybody's just locked in on the defensive end. We know what we need to do. If you don't play defense, you're not going to win. And we found that out a lot of times last year. So I think everybody understands how important it is, and it's just our mindset.
How do you think this trip's gonna, set you guys up for the regular season?
It'll be great for us because we'll play good competition down there, which we'll play in the Valley, and we'll play during the regular season. So just gives us an early gauge. We get 10 practices, so we've been working hard already. So it'll be really good for us, and we'll be really prepared.
What have you guys been doing at those practices to get ready for, this trip?
We've basically been practices like we have in October, the tough days of the season, just long, working on defense, shell drill, basically every aspect of the game. So it's been really good for us.
Have you been on the country before?
I went to the Bahamas at Salukis. We took a foreign trip there, so that's the only other time I've been on.
What have you worked on yourself individually this year?
I've just been working on ball handling and finishing at the rim and mid-range.
Considering what you guys did at the end of last season, how it finished, and there's so many seniors on this year's team, are the expectations through the roof for this year's team going this year?
The expectations is to win the championship. I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. We felt like we left a lot of games out there last year, and we don't want to do that again. So coming in with that mindset, it's either championship or bust.
So last year was a learning experience about you got to get over that next step and win those close games.
Yeah, it definitely was a learning experience. We definitely took in a lot from last year and the mistakes we made and plays we didn't make that we should have did. So it's just going to be a learning experience, and we have to bring it all together this year.
What do you like about Darius and Sam Schaefer?
They're both really, really hard-working guys first, so that's always good to have guys that like to be in the gym and put in extra work. And they're both really good players. I mean, Darius, I'm sure you guys watched him since he was in high school, so he's really good. And Sam just had a great day in practice the other day. He didn't miss a shot from three, I don't think. So they're both really promising players.
Podium.
And preparing, for this trip to Cuba.
We've been doing a lot of preparing with a lot of ball handling, passing, a lot of up and down playing. We usually take the summer to work on little things like plays and getting everything ready for the regular season. But since we're playing, we've been doing a lot of up and down scrimmages. It's been really good for us.
What's been the main focus this off season?
The main focus this off season is really just building chemistry. With our guys, we've separated our team so that there's more like the veterans versus the guys that will be here next year. And we've all been like changing teams and working on building chemistry with all different players. So, no matter who's out there, you're comfortable playing with everybody on the team.
How far ahead do you feel, after 6-7 practices?
I feel pretty far ahead. We've been looking really, really, really good. We've been doing a lot of, like I said, getting up and down, and I think that's helped us to build the chemistry that we need to play against the Cuban teams out there. So I think we'll be ready.
How much of a gauge do you think you'll be able to get on this year's team from this trip?
A gauge? What do you mean?
Like just how good this team can be?
Oh, we have a chance. I think this is definitely our year. We have all the pieces. We have Kavion Pippen and Rudy in the post. We have Marcus Barkley, a big-time shooter. We have athletes like Sean Lloyd and Armand Fletcher. So we have all the pieces. We just have to put it together. And I think in practice we've been seeing that, and I think in Cuba it'll show.
What do you, besides the basketball part of it, what are you most looking forward to?
That is a good question, but I think I'm going to have to go with the dance classes. They say we're going to do salsa classes out there, so I think I'm kind of nervous for it because I might be the worst dancer out of all of us, but I'm excited at the same time because it's just a different experience.
Think learning the salsa moves could help you on the court? Maybe give you a couple of breaks, different way here.
You got to be loose, you can't be stiff doing salsa. So it's just like basketball, it's smooth. I think it'll definitely help.
Marcus said you were looking at like some cultural things. Is there anything you learned about Cuba as far as what to do and what not to do when you get there?
Well, yeah, I was sitting around with my mom one day, and she was like, "Oh, let's look it up while we're just sitting here." There was like a whole list of things. She fell asleep. I was very entertained, and one of the things was like how like spitting or blowing your nose in public is like a disrespectful thing. I was like, wow, that happens all the time over here. So yeah, we looked up a lot of different things, and I might still get got out there. They might give me for my money or something, but no, I'm excited though. It's going to be a very fun experience.
What about the food? Do you look up what the food's going to do?
No, I'm very picky, so I probably won't like it anyways. But it's always nice to try something new. So I'm definitely open to new things, especially since I've never been out of the country. So I'm looking forward to trying the food, even though I'm a picky guy.
What are you supposed to do if you can't blow your nose?
I guess just hold it in.
You do it for 4 days?
Yeah, you gotta wait till you get back to the hotel. No, but that's a great question. Hopefully, I don't have to blow my nose while I'm out there.
What is having this experience and being able to have it with this group of guys mean to you?
I'm sorry.
What is being able to have this experience and go to Cuba with this group of guys mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. Most of these guys are the guys that I came in with. Marcus came in the same year I did. Sean Lloyd was here a year before I was. So this is all the same guys. Nobody's gone, other than like Michael Rodriguez, Sean O'Brien. But I wish those guys were here too. But it's definitely fun to get these guys go on a trip. Because we've spent so many years together. It'd be a great experience to do this with people that we know each other really well.
And it being your first international trip, are you excited? What does that mean to be able to do it with basketball?
Oh, it's a blessing. This is something I wouldn't be able to do without basketball and without SIU. So this is something that I can't even put into words. I thank God for this university for doing all these things for us. It's like I said, I can't put it into words how thankful I am.
How did your passport picture come out?
It looked like a mugshot, but no, but it was clear. I thought it looked okay.
It's been 4 months, 5 months now. What exactly did Loyola do last year?
Man, just like us, they had all the talent, they had all the pieces. They just found a way to put it together and make it. Just kept it going. That was their biggest thing. They didn't have one superstar. they had 5 superstars. So, I mean, it's hard to put that together, but they did, and I think they did a really good job.
What does that say about the Valley as a conference? I mean, to have a team go that far, and people really didn't give much of a chance. What's that say about the quality of basketball in the Valley?
Well, it says a lot about our conference. It tells you that we're not pushovers like those big schools may think, like the Power 5 schools, but Valley is based on defense. We love to play defense, and that's what we take pride in. So I think Loyola did a really good job of proving that even out there on the run that they went on, and it shows that you can't take us for granted, like no matter who you are.
And playing down in Cuba, you're going to really get to play defense, and there's not going to be a lot of calls. Kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's not the case here. It's a lot of touch fouls here, but I'm excited. I'm curious to see how they call the fouls and things out there, just to see if it's going to be as rough as Coach Hinson makes it sound, or if it's just going to be a bunch of touch fouls. So I'm looking forward to see how that's going to be.
Well, Coach doesn't overblow things very often, does he?
It just depends on what we're talking about.
So, with a game, expecting more of a physical type of game, how do you guys prepare, playing against these, grown men?
Oh, Coach, we run a lot of sprints just because we always say, man, that's a foul. And they say, oh, that's a taking Cuba. We're down and back. So, just little things like that, not calling fouls for something that may be a foul over here. You can't call it over there. So we just try and prepare for the unpredictable. Anything could be a technical foul out there just because we're the away team. So, we just try and prepare with no foul calls, no back talk, nothing that you wouldn't do in a regular game.
What have you guys done to make yourself a better defensive team this summer?
We focus so much on defense that it's kind of sickening. Like, we're going to practice more defense. We've done a lot of shell drill, closeouts, all those type of things. We know that they have shooters and and a lot of them are really, really well-rounded players, and they all like to drive. So we've been doing a lot of closeouts, where it's long closeouts or short closeouts. We prepared in all ways possible to defend these guys. So we've never switched ball screens with guards and bigs, but now we're starting to add that into our game just so that we can be ready for whatever they throw at us.
How do you think you're going to balance the idea that you're going to have to play basketball, but you're also going to be in a totally different country, and it's going to be, a really interesting experience? What's the balance going to be there? Is it going to be more basketball, more cultural? What's the main focus of the team?
Well, it's a business trip. For me, first of all, it's basketball first, and then once we're done with our 3 games, then it can be okay. Let's have fun. Ultimately, it's a great experience. We have to take full advantage of that. Understand that this is a once in a lifetime type of opportunity. So for me, I know it's basketball first, and then once that's over, then then we can have fun.
Thanks, Aaron.
What makes you excited about the trip?
Personally, I've never been out the country, so just being able to actually go and experience, especially at Cuba. So I'm looking forward to it.
What does it mean to you to have your first, your first international experience, to be able to do it with Salukis basketball?
It means a lot. I feel like without basketball, I never probably would have been out the country. I thank SIU and athletics and Coach Kill for giving us the opportunity to go out there and represent our school in Cuba.
What's the number one thing you guys want to get accomplished?
Honestly, for me, I think we just want to go out there and win. We don't know really too much to expect, but the teams we're playing, we'll probably watch a little bit of film on them the next few days. Ultimately, go out there and win. And when you win, it makes everything else fun. So that's the main thing for us.
How do you feel a successful trip down there will help prepare yourselves for the regular season?
It'll definitely be a confidence booster for us this early. Going into the year, this in the summer. So it's a great test for us to see where we're at and what we need to work on. And if we go out there and play well, it'll definitely help everybody's confidence.
Have you done research on Cuba and culture, like what to expect culturally and stuff like that?
Just a little bit. I heard you can't spit on the ground, you can't blow your nose in public. So it's going to be some different things out there that I'm going to have to get used to. I'm not a big spitter on the ground, so I probably won't have to worry about that.
What about some of the other things you guys get to do besides basketball?
I believe we're running the camp for the kids. That would be a nice thing to do for those children, to have an experience for another American team to come in and, teach them some things and have fun with them. Also, I think we're salsa dancing, so that'll be fun.
Marcus said that you would probably be the best salsa dancer.
Most definitely. Have the best music.
You got a lot of returners, Armand. How do you think the team has developed this summer?
Mainly it's just our mindset. Everybody's been putting in the necessary work. We've all been, in the gym together late at night. Sometimes we'll go to the gym and you'll see my other teammates in the gym, without us even, contacting each other. And then you walk in and it'll be like a fun situation, play one-on-one, and get some shots up. So just building our team camaraderie, and that's just really the main thing.
This is your senior year. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I feel like if I don't make it to the tournament this year, it'll be a failure for my career. So my main goal coming into the school was, I can't leave here without a ring. So that's what I've really been focused on. And, my focus has been really sharp. So that's really what it is.
What have you tried to improve?
Just touched up a lot of areas in my game. I worked on my body, trimmed down some weight, and toned up a little bit. I worked a lot on ball handling and simple stuff, one dribble pull-ups, and just staying consistent.
What about the food? You know a lot about some of the food?
I don't, but I heard there's a lot of street food, so that'll probably be fun to test some things out. I probably won't venture too far into it, but I'll definitely try some things out that I know of.
Do you think either?
No, not at all.
Armand, what have you guys done to help make yourself a better defensive team this summer?
We really haven't done too much different. We want to play pack line defense. Our main thing this year is just, help the next guy out. We want to force teams to beat us from the three-point line and, stop giving up so much, dribble penetration. So our main thing this summer is just, stop the dribble and, force contested shots.
Playing against the pros down in Cuba, how do you think that the physical game is going to help, set you guys up for who you're playing this season?
It'll definitely help us. It'll make us tougher. A lot of things with our team right now, in practice we look for a lot of fouls. When we don't get fouls, we kind of, look at our coaches, it'll help us out, become tougher as a team and, just playing against grown men and even, make you tougher mentally just from that.
This is typically the time you guys go home and hang out and get a break from school or basketball. Do you feel you know, it's your senior year, so you don't care, or do you feel like it's you don't want to burn out the end of the year, and you may not have a break before the season starts?
I don't think we're worried about that just because it is in the summer and, there's a lot of time, until the season starts. So this trip going to Cuba is not like we're out there for, months or weeks. We're only going to be out there for a little bit of time. So we can sacrifice, our bodies and stuff right now to see where we're at.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Coach, they've been saying that you've been, working on the physicality of the team, preparing for this trip. How's that going to be, how's that been different than how they've prepared in the past?
Who said that? Players?
Yeah.
Yeah. Players always think you're really working hard, but I tell you the one thing that we've done consistently all summer long is we've worked as much as we can on our perimeter skills, passing, dribbling, shooting, and not based on your position. We've tried to play faster. We've tried to play because, guys, we're moving from a 30-second shot clock to a 24. You get an offensive rebound, it stays at 14. And I've been out on the road for 3 straight weekends recruiting, or 3 straight weeks. And every coach that I've sit next to, I've talked to them about foreign trips. What they thought they did was great. What they thought they did wasn't great. If they could change it all over again, what would they do different? And I've tried to learn from that as much as I can. And no one that I talked to has been to Cuba. So this has got a chance. I get asked this all the time. Why are we going to Cuba? And because you can always go to Spain, you can go to Italy, you can go to Europe, you can go to the Bahamas, you can go to Canada. But you just can't always go to Cuba. And the biggest thing for me, there were 2 things that I wanted to accomplish, or several things I wanted to accomplish from this trip. Was I wanted to go to a place that was unique, and I wanted to go to a place that I felt like we would really struggle to win a ball game, to really challenge us. I've seen teams go to Canada and the Bahamas and win by 50. That's not going to help us. And I've been told on several occasions you will not win a game in Cuba, but which is okay. Just we'll try our best.
What about culturally? Have the guys, and have you learned a little bit just about some of the culture and things to expect down there that might be a little bit different?
Maddie, we've tried to take as much advantage of this as we possibly can. And what we've done is that we've had guest speakers come in. We've given them lessons over Cuba. We've talked about their country. We've talked about our country, the relationship. We're going to go to the U.S. Embassy. We're going to spend 2 hours at the U.S. Embassy. We're going to take a salsa dance lesson the first night we're there. And you guys laughed just like I laughed when I was told that the event organizer came in and spoke to us and said they take that stuff extremely seriously. Cuba is, as you very well know, is big into the arts. And this will also be what I refer to as a humanitarian trip. We have a chance to be an ambassador for our country. We're going to do 2 kids clinics while we're there. And we're going to do a bunch of stuff. My wife has bought a bunch of coloring books and crayons because the children there, they don't have the opportunity for that. We're going to take little trinkets. We're going to take stuff from SIU, and we're just kind of trying to be the best ambassador that we can be, not only for our country, but our university and our community.
What's the biggest thing that this team can get from a trip like this?
I think anytime you take a trip, and listen, I'm a rookie. This is my first one. I've never been on a foreign trip. In all my 37 years of coaching, we've never taken a foreign trip. And Todd had asked me literally every year, are you going to take a foreign trip? You're going to take a foreign trip. And we didn't want to take a foreign trip until we felt like the time was right. The time's right now. We have 6 seniors. We have a group that we felt like is a veteran group. We have a group of young men that we're very comfortable with. And we felt like this is an opportunity for us to take the young guys and the older guys and to bond. And I think everybody I talk to has told me that there's 2 things that you can do on this. You can actually help your season or ruin your season. And those that have said it'll ruin your season, the guys that said you come back and you don't take a break and you go right into basketball and then you lose your legs and you wear out in January, February. We won't do that. I spent 2 hours this morning dealing with our trainer and our strength and conditioning coordinator, working out a plan for us that when we get back and when we can start and all of that. So I think those 2 things we'll try to accomplish.
A trip like this, who do you think benefits the most from it?
I think we all do, Eddie. I think we all do. I mean, there's going to be the guys don't know all the stuff we're going to do yet. They have no clue. I think we're all going to benefit. This is going to be a time. It's not going to be a. It's going to be a time for us to grow. It's going to be a time for us to get to learn about each other more so than just basketball. And, we all, as young kids, we went to camp. We went to camp. I went to church camp. I went to Boy Scout camp. And to me, this is a lot like going to camp. And it's an opportunity for us to grow and become a better family. And I don't think we're going to be singing Kumbaya on the beaches of Cuba, but I do, I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to grow as a family.
Will you give them a break?
And we may sing Kumbaya on the beach of Cuba. I don't know.
Will you give them a break when you get back?
Yeah, we're going to give them a break. Yeah, we're
let
going to
them go home and actually get away.
Yeah, they've not had a summer. None of these guys have had a summer, and they've practiced. I think they'll be the first to tell you that this has been the most, I don't want to say difficult, but the most pressed summer that they've had. The NCAA rules change this year. You can use 4 hours instead of 2. And then we also get 10 practices. Today is our 7th practice. We have 3 more practices after today. And we've had coaches come in and evaluate us. We've had people in the stands. We won't have a coach. We were going to have a coach here today. We've had Division I coaches come in. And we're going to have a couple more coaches come in later this week and evaluate, not just the players, evaluate the staff as well.
Is Amadou Fall able to go and Teak able to go?
Everybody's going to go. Not everybody's going to get to play. Amadou won't play and Teak won't play. I think Teak could probably be cleared to play, but we're not doing that. We want Teak to be cleared to play the first week in November. That's what we're hoping for.
Is this something new to have other coaches come in and evaluate? Have you done this every year?
I've done it, Marv. I've done it before, but not to the extent. I tell you, the first guy that came in and evaluated was Doug Knopfson. I trust Doug. I've known Doug for years. Doug's one of our own. He's an SIU player. His name is down on one of our lockers because he donated money for that, and I feel comfortable with him. And he gave me an hour and 45-minute evaluation and 63 points. There were a lot of hurt feelings, staff included. It's the best thing that could have happened for us. So I told him that. I've told every coach to come in, evaluate every coach on the floor, evaluate every player, tell us how we win a championship, that we're not held back. We want to know exactly what we can do to get better.
How's Teak's recovery?
Teak's recovery is the same as it was before he had surgery. Everybody's saying his recovery's gone well, his rehab's gone well. I can't even begin to tell you how impressed I've been with OI. They've done a great job, and specifically one guy, JT Davis. And no one has dealt with Teak with the exception of JT and his trainer. That's it. And he's been off of hands by anybody. We'll turn back over to our trainer when we get back from Cuba. And that's one of the guys, Todd, you asked how much time we'll take off. We'll probably take off 2 to 3 weeks, but we won't take off with the new guys. We'll work the new guys out.
Okay, because classes start, the 18th? August 18th? Something like that?
20th or 21st? Yeah. 20th, yeah. Thanks to our academic coordinator over here, Mike Reese, we start on the 20th. Let me tell you something. That's the only time when Reese knew when classes started. I promise you that.
We talked to the players, and they said with this trip and the amount of seniors that are coming back, so the expectations heading in this year are higher than they have been since they've been here. Do you believe that?
No question. They certainly are on our end. I mean, we've been, guys, for 5 years in a row, no matter where we've been picked, we finished better. And last year we finished second. Now, we won't be picked first this year. We'll be picked second or third, I would imagine. And hope we're picked second because we finished better than every year what we've been picked. So hopefully we're picked second. We finish first. But make no bones about it. I mean, we talked about it from day one. We're working to win a conference championship every day. Every day. That's what we come to work on.
All the differences that you're going to see in Cuba in terms of the physicality and the shot clock, like you mentioned, how is that going to translate into the season?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, this is my first run at it as well. The physicality will help us. They're not going to call fouls. They're going to be extremely physical. And they just played 2 nights ago and we watched them play. I mean, we're going to be playing guys that are 30, 35 years old, guys that play professionally in Argentina, Spain, and Brazil. I mean, this is going to be an eye-opening experience. Their starting 5-man weighs 280 pounds. Now, he's a big old boy now. He's bigger than you and I together. And Maddie. We throw all 3 of us in there.
You said 37 years you've been at this?
Be starting my 37th year.
36. Second time I've asked this today. What did Loyola do last year?
What did Loyola do?
Yeah. Why did they do what they did?
Well, they had great spacing. They had good players. They got along. They clicked. They hit 2 really important shots at the end of a game. They caught lightning in a bottle. They got their confidence, and they had God on their side with Sister Jean. So, I mean, I think that's what Loyola did.
Well, what does that say about basketball in the Valley, though? I mean, people want to overlook the Valley. Top conferences don't want to play the Valley. The Valley is getting a kind of reputation as less than a mid-major in some people's eyes. What's that say about the Valley?
Well, I think it speaks volumes. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that could have been happier than the 9 other coaches in their progress. I mean, that was awesome. What people don't understand is we were the 8th best conference in college basketball last year. 8th best. Now, the problem that we have right now, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but how in the world it happened, but I'm on the Villanova sports page this morning and talking about mid-majors and how they don't get a chance to play in postseason play. And for the most part, the article was fairly positive, and it's true. We don't. There's been 9 teams that have had at-large bids in the last 3 years. 9. One of those was Wichita State. I mean, it's just crazy. The tournament has to be expanded. When I first started coaching, we had 230 some odd teams in Division I basketball, and we took 64 at that time. There are 357 Division I programs now. That's adding 127 odd programs, and we've only added 4 rounds, 4 more games, or 4 more teams. You can't do that. You can't add on one end and not increase on the other end. So for a guy like me and representing the Missouri Valley Conference, I think it's important that all of us, media included, that we constantly talk about that over and over and over. Because you saw what happened last year, even in the NIT. The 8th best conference in the country last year got 1 team in the postseason play. 1 team. We couldn't even get the 2nd place team in the NIT. The NIT and the NCAA tournament have gone to a Power 5 tournament. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, people are excited when George Mason, Northern Iowa, Wichita State, Loyola, VCU, those teams that play and make a run. And it adds excitement to the tournament. That's just my opinion.
What did you want to do to make yourself a better defensive team this summer, Barry?
Well, I think one of the things that we talked about was being able to guard the ball better. And we've worked on that every practice. Matter of fact, you guys, I know you're going to be the first 30 minutes of practice. You'll see us guard one-on-one today, one-on-one. And we've talked about continually being able to guard your man. So, that was our big objective this summer. Work one-on-one, learn how to guard your man.
Did you learn any Spanish this summer?
No, but, it's funny you bring that up. My grandson goes to a Spanish immersion school. And for the last 2 years, from the moment you arrive to the moment you leave, you have to speak Spanish. So my grandson will be a member of the staff. He will be sitting on the bench and interpreting for us during the game. You guys may laugh, but that's the truth. I'm going to have my 7-year-old grandson on the bench interpreting for me because I do know a little bit of Spanish. It's mainly limited to what I order at Tequila's, but that's about my limitation.
Well, you're somewhat of a foodie. I mean,
I am a foodie.
And you got to be looking forward. This is going to be an entirely different classification of food.
It is. It's going to be difficult, but I've learned how to say no ceballos because I don't like onions. There's not a lot of things in life that I hate. I don't like the word hate, but I hate onions. Or excuse me, I hate ceballos. No ceballos. I'm learning how to say that more and more.
How's your schedule, Barry?
We're not done yet, but I like it. I think when we finally unveil it, I think you guys will be impressed. Matter of fact, I know you'll be impressed. And if you're not, shame on you.
How many more games do you have to play?
We're playing around right now with 1. We're playing around with 1 game. And I'm not in a hurry. So we may not release our non-conference schedule until November 6th. We'll release it before then. But you know what? We're going to try to do the best what we can for our program. And I'm still holding on to 1 game, kind of playing with it and seeing what we can do. But like I said, I think you guys will like our schedule. It's already been reported, the tournament that we're playing in, and if we're fortunate enough to beat UMass, we're going to have the opportunity to play a team that's going to be preseason top 5 if they beat Tulsa, and that's in Nevada. So, they're going to be preseason top 5. So let's say that UCLA or Kansas or Kentucky or North Carolina or Duke are not in the top 5. One of those teams is not in the top 5. Nevada's going to be preseason top 5. So that'd be the same thing as me telling you because they're going to be really good.
Barry, are you taking any Governor of Oklahoma questions?
That's funny how that stuff gets out. Yeah, no. I pretty much stood up for the teachers when I spoke that day, and it surely got viral. For those who I spoke at the Oklahoma Coaches Clinic last week, and I went off about teachers because I was a teacher in Oklahoma, and what they're doing with teachers in that state is appalling.
How are your freshmen looking?
They're looking just like freshmen, Maddie. They look like deer in headlights, and we know what that term means in Southern Illinois. So, but they've done a good job. They really have. It's been fun. We have David Swadora, Amadou, which is just doing ball handling drills because he can't do anything with his knee. Darius and Sam, and it's just fun to watch them. You know, freshmen to me are like, you remember the cartoon character Marmaduke? They're like Marmaduke. You don't remember. You're not old enough. Anyway, these guys do. But they're just big puppy dogs. And they're fun. I love our guys. I love our players. I like this group. I like them. And I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about this group of young men.
Marcus played last year, first time he played in a couple of years. Have you seen him develop a lot this summer?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Marcus has done is he's really, last year was a difficult year on him, Todd, because he couldn't ever get into rhythm. Bless his heart, he got to a point where here we go, and then he got hurt. And then here he goes, he's starting to play well, and get to Vegas, and he hurts his back and can't play. And then he re-injures his hand. He just had one of those up and down years, but Marcus Bartley right now on our team, he and Brennan Gooch are the two best shooters on our team, and Rudy would probably be third. We've statted every shot that these young men have taken this year, and those would be our top three shooters right now, those three guys.
With all the injuries you had last year, are you chalking that up as an anomaly, or are you taking extra precautions coming into the season?
I think it might. Teague's deal, I can't explain Teague's deal. That's not an anomaly. Amadou's is not. We knew Amadou hurt his knee the day I was there watching him work out. I mean, I saw him tear it, and it was bad. We can't do anything about broken bones. Broken bones are broken bones. Eric broke his hand. Marcus broke his hand. All those others nagging. I don't want to say anomaly, but what have we done? We really tried to do a better job in our conditioning this summer. And one of the things that we're going to do when we do get back from Cuba is we're going to spend 3 weeks of stretching, lifting, and yoga, and no basketball. None. No basketball. We're just going to try to do the best we can to get our guys more flexible. Okay, guys, thanks. Appreciate y'all coming. Big lightning, Maddie. I'm going down.